Say that. How do you say my name?
Estuardo is how you say it in Spanish. How do you say my name in Spanish, Stu?
David.
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 We're going to start calling you Camote, though, as a nickname. A camote for anybody who speaks Spanish out there, though. That's good.
What does that mean?
Don't.
What does that mean, David?
Camote means sweet potato. I don't know why that just popped in my head.
I don't get it. Why?
I don't know. I don't know, man. Maybe because when you tan, you get more like orange, like a red oranges tinge instead of brown. I don't know.
Why did you start this conversation right after I started hitting record?
I didn't even know we were recording, brother.
Yeah, you did.
I didn't notice it. You know, you're such a tricky guy with the record.
Yes.
And then I'm not observant enough to notice a red button. We're not here to make fun of each other, though, or more appropriately, me make fun of you. We've got Masvidal from the UFC, Game Bread, coming on the show today.
Just kidding. Guys.
He looks like him, huh?
He does look like him, dude. He looks like his last fight.
What's up, everybody? This is Stu, and that's David, and this is Filling the Storehouse podcast, and we have our friend Tim Casallas. Tim is our first investor that has purchased 3 properties from Storehouse 310 Ventures, and so we kind of wanted to do a little of a showcase, a little investor showcase here with Tim. But Tim's got a fantastic story. And we kind of just wanted to get him on and let him kind of tell us and tell you guys who he is and what he's all about. So, Tim, welcome, man. It's good to see you.
Thanks for having me, guys. Really appreciate it. My name is Tim Casallas. I'm from Queens, New York. I did 10 years in the military, in the Marine Corps to be exact, from 2010 up until this April. First of all, I just want to say, guys, just thank you for allowing me to have this platform. This is a platform that I lost. And it was the one being able to talk to other military, other active duty guys, or reserve guys too, just in the barracks, in the chow halls about this. You know, I'm a new guy in real estate too, but I've done a few deals. And I think the hardest part is for guys to actually get in the game. And hopefully I can provide some insight on that. So when I get into my intro, there's a couple of things I want to say before, because when I say my intro, it's gonna kind of explain it. And there's 3 things that I really think, if you're really trying to get into this business, that you need to hold on to, and that is a passion, okay, hustle, and a why, a big why. And I know why everybody talks about having a why, and I hope it's not overplayed. But the reason why people always talk about it is because it's so important. It's what keeps you coming back and keeps you on track for what you're trying to do, okay? So when I say my intro, you're not gonna have the same, experiences as me, where you built that passion and hustle and all that stuff, but maybe you have something similar that you guys can, relate to, okay? So for me personally, growing up, I knew I was business oriented and, had a business mindset from very early. Talking probably 8 years old. I wanted to watch wrestling, pay-per-views, Stone Cold and The Rock. I was a big fan. My mom wouldn't pay for it, whether she couldn't or wouldn't, maybe wouldn't, she wouldn't pay for it. She wouldn't give me a chance. So another big thing at the time was Pokemon, right? And this is what we were doing. I understood my market. I didn't really know all these things, but I understood my market. I knew I was good at it. I had the time. I can get other people's video games, their little characters up to level, make some money off of them. Who knows how they got their money? They're 8-year-old kids too, probably from their parents, no big deal. But I used that to buy my my pay-per-views. As time went on, this continued, man. I sold sneakers, I sold music, whatever the people wanted. Me and my boy, we would make CDs in our house and sell them to whoever wanted. We'd take orders. And then I worked in the Bronx in a shoe store, little mom and pop shoe store. And I worked there as a cashier, but this is where I was like, hey, we got some more clientele that we can talk to. So I started selling colognes and perfumes. I went down to Canal Street, is where you could buy a lot of, bootleg stuff, real stuff, but stuff cheap stuff. And I made that into a little business of my own. The owner let me do it. She didn't charge me anything at first. but I had little spreadsheets and stuff. I must have been like 14 years old, and just buying a whole bunch of, fragrances, I guess, and just putting them out there and selling it to the people in the Bronx that didn't want to go down to Canal Street for cheap, better than, cheaper than it was at Macy's. And so after that, I ended up working in Manhattan. I was a doorman, and I was a doorman for really rich people, very rich in the Upper East Side. And I hated it. I hated the way they treated me. And it started to dawn on me all those days, all those mornings, especially in New York, so cold. Like, this isn't living, man. This isn't this. I don't get to set my own schedule. I'm up. I'm a sardine in the subway cars, this and that. And I was like, there's got to be more to this life thing, And that's when my mind started going, hey, there's people are doing other things. So didn't realize it right away. I joined the military soon after, and it wasn't until 2016 where I took my first step.
Man, that might be my favorite intro that we've had yet, dude. That was from Pokemon to selling bootleg fragrances. Not all bootleg, some of them are real. I got you.
Some are real.
But man, that is awesome. And I'll tell you, you're a pretty humble guy, Tim. When you and I have talked quite a bit, like from initially buying your first properties. I didn't know any of this stuff. That's awesome. That's all new to me. But man, Tim, you're a hustler, man. We just recently had a conversation. We were picking my brain on the business, and I leave these conversations with Tim, Stu, like fired up, man. I should dial you in because he's like, okay, I'm looking at this and that, and I'm going here. I'm doing
why am
this.
I not invited ever to these conversations?
He didn't want to talk to you. I don't know. It's a lot of our guests and a lot of our clients. They just don't want to talk to you. I don't know.
Oh, really, Tim? Straight up, truth here.
It's not. I talk to anyone that I can provide value to and that I can learn from as well. Right. I absolutely talk to anybody. That's for sure.
Awesome, man.
No, but it was the point being, it was phenomenal conversations, right? We're talking business. We're talking about how you want to do the things you want to do, but it's different. And something that was imparted to me a while back was, if you're serious about something, then you're going to keep coming back, right? You're going to keep coming back. And as you become a person of more influence, more people are going to want to talk to you. They already want to talk to you, but more people are going to want to talk to you, and your schedule is going to be booked, and you're going to have to start saying no. And one of the big indicators of no is, hey, you really interested in this? Cool. Call me back and develop your plan and call me back in 6 weeks. That really cuts a lot of people out. Not our folks, though. It's interesting. Not our folks. Most of our clients and people we talk to are all fired up. They're mostly military guys and gals, and they're all serious about it. But that's what I love about you, man. You come back with a plan. We have a conversation, and you go do action. You're a man of action, and that fires me up every time I talk to you. So, you're a humble guy, but I assure you, your platform is gonna explode. There's no doubt in my mind.
Yeah, dude. And just this short little intro, you can just hear it. You can see it, the passion that you have. And obviously the hustle of just, growing up and all these little like entrepreneurial journeys that you've started. It's freaking awesome, man. Like, I love it. But the thing that we haven't talked about yet that you mentioned is your why. So let's get into that and tell us about kind of your why and how you kind of got started on that journey.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is interesting to me because I'll get into the first one. There's actually more than one why. Okay, so the first why is, I've listened to your guys' podcasts, and it seems like a lot of people say the same thing because there's nothing wrong with it. And it's financial freedom. It's the ability to set your own schedule, the ability to be your own boss. Why? So we can spend more time with our families. I can spend more time with my fiance. We should have been married. Coronavirus stopped that, but it's just until March. But these are the reasons. I love it. I love that ability to be able to do that. But there's a bigger why, and this is a newer why, because this is not the why that I started with. And I think you guys led the way with it. So when I study guys like Bill Gates and Warren Buffett and stuff, guys that, become so rich and so powerful, and then they kind of run out of things to do, they become philanthropists, right? They give back, and they're doing so much stuff. And the more I sat and thought about it, that's the real why. That's the real goal at the end of the day. They're just so wealthy and so rich you can get. Maybe I'm saying that just now. I don't know. But I'm not really looking for a yacht. I'm not really looking for, I'm a simple guy. I want to just be comfortable. I want the freedom. But being able to give back to people that really need it and having that platform and that ability to do so, that's a whole nother level. That's a legacy that lives forever. And you guys didn't wait till you were super made to do that. You guys started off with that plan. And it was only while I was actually thinking of this podcast and I was sitting here and I was like, what, yeah, sure. My why is financial freedom. When I need to get there, but I'm going to get there. Then what? And that's when I started developing that.
Yeah, that's really cool. And a couple things to that. One, really appreciate the fact that it's very encouraging to us to hear folks like you that the true importance of what we're trying to do resonates through, right? Because I mean, ultimately it's important for Stu and I, and we see ourselves accountable to God and doing the things that we do. That's what drives it, right? But it's good to partner with folks like you and have a potential, like a lot of the things that Stu and I are talking about, the businesses that we're building right now, is how do we build giving into the partnerships with the people that we're partnering with, so it kind of forces them to give, but it's something maybe they didn't think about, and it isn't seen as taking away from what they've got, but it forces them into giving, and it's just a different perspective, right? But the fact that you're developing that why and having multiple whys is huge. I think that's key because it really drives you forward and pushes you to really accelerate your business, and that's awesome, man. It's a great place to be. It's a great place to be. And so taking that a step further, you have your why. You've obviously spent a lot of time thinking about it and building it. What is that? What are you building that into? What are the current business plans, your current focus, and the things you're looking at doing?
Yeah. So I'm like a mad scientist in the lab every day. I started school, so it cuts into it a little bit, but I'm still working on that. I still work on real estate every day. Now that I'm I'm on break, I could actually work on it full time more. But I'm constantly just researching new things, new areas, new markets, new metrics. I have my turnkey metric of what I want, which has increased from the first time that I bought a property off of you. I have new metrics that I look at, and now I'm developing a new project that I want to do actually in Georgia. And that actually came from our talk, Dave, when you were talking about don't be limited by distance, right? Because as you know, I was looking in Philadelphia. I still am. But you said, don't be limited by that distance. It's a 2-hour drive. Georgia's way farther away from me. But you mentioned something that I never really thought of before. You do and you don't, but it's that QC, it's that quality control rep, that ability. You can't go to Milwaukee all the time, So you have somebody down there that can be the boots on the ground, someone that you trust. And that's what I'm working on right now. I have somebody down in Georgia, and we're working on the numbers. We're working on putting it all together, and he will be able to do that. Him and his wife, Billy and Amber. Hey guys, they can actually go down there and do that for me. So I'm taking our conversation and actually putting it into use immediately.
It's crushing it, dude. I love it. So let's take a step back just a little bit. So you were, and we kind of didn't really get into this. We should have introduced this a little bit more, but you did 10 years Marines. Is that correct?
Yeah, I did.
Okay. And what were you doing in the Marines?
I did my first enlistment. I was an avionics technician for Hueys and Cobras. And then my second enlistment, I was EOD.
Okay.
In Yuma, Arizona.
Now, and I kind of want to, and I asked because, I think a lot of our military careers and our experience in the military kind of ties right into the stuff that we're doing and just even like the transition and the action taking and the tools that we use. And I'm just kind of curious, so like if you have any thoughts, kind of like reflecting back on your Marine Corps days, like if there's anything that you experienced there and what you did there that has helped you kind of with the transition and with action steps that you're doing now.
Yeah. so much. You know, it wasn't always the best days. Not every military day is a great day, but
No, come on, man.
yeah.
It's all like unicorns and rainbows in the military all the time.
That's what the recruiter told me. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if I could show you the kid I was before I went into the Marine Corps to now, you wouldn't talk to the kid I was. You wouldn't. You know, I owe it to the military, like to the Marine Corps. I owe it to the Marine Corps. I do love it. People are gonna give me a hard time for that, but I do love the Marine Corps. And I've learned organization. I've learned how to be a leader. I've learned to just get it done. When people tell you no, don't listen to that. There's a way to get it done. You just keep going, and there's a way to get to a yes. There's definitely so many people that I've met, and that you really wouldn't meet anywhere else. It was a great place to network.
I'm just curious too, because you're an infectious guy, right? You're obviously a natural leader. Your personality is infectious. People, I'm sure, gravitate to you, and that was probably no different than in the Marine Corps. You know, I'm curious, are these guys still reaching out? Is this still, you know, are you still really connected with the guys and gals that you were serving with previously?
So the guy I was with in EOD is actually the guy I just mentioned. It's going to be my QC, hopefully, if I find a great dude, way better Marine than I will ever be. Scout sniper turned EOD. And he's not the only one that I've met that I still talk to today. So yeah, to answer your question, absolutely, still keep in contact and still work with, you know, at least him. But the other ones, I just, you know, they're kind of more like family.
Yeah, I think that's cool because you have a connection with those guys. So Stu and I, right? That's how we were brought together, was through the Naval Academy, and then served together, and ultimately became, you know, brothers. Well, sister brother, but I would encourage you and all of our listeners to really, you know, this is something that's really been hitting me a lot since our conversation with Bill Militello. But this network that we have, and this built-in brotherhood and sisterhood with our, you know, our brothers and sisters in arms, and these relationships, and then on top of that, the wider veteran community. You know, some of the things that just keep going through my head every day. You know, some of the things he said was, hey, in our tribe, money is infinite. Right. So that's one part of it. And then the partnerships, and who knows, you know, you got this guy in Georgia, you guys serve together, you already have a relationship, you guys blow that business up, you know, Storehouse, and you guys, you know, come together and do some deals and potentially open up networks for other folks. And, you know, there's a never ending, I think you hit it with the network piece. There's a never ending, a web, if you will, of folks that's going to just continue to grow and grow and grow as you guys continue to crush it. So I love that. And there's action involved with that, right? Is networking easy? I don't know. You tell me.
No, networking is the toughest thing. This is for me. So for me, networking is the toughest thing. I wasn't a natural people person to begin with. And it's definitely my weakest link. But, you know, just for anyone listening that's new, this is a people game. This is, you know, this is about who you know. This is about meeting new people. This is about people opening doors and what you can provide to other people. You cannot underestimate that. You can't do it. It's the number one key to this business, in my opinion.
Dude, I agree 100%, man. I tried doing real estate on my own for a long time, and I didn't get very far. You know, I mean, I bought some real estate, right? And and it all didn't go very fantastic. And, you know, when David and I decided to build this business, and when it really like clicked that you're spot on, dude. Like, this is a people business, and you have to rely on the teams and the network that you create, that you partner with, that you rely on, that you trust. And I mean, it's so important to be successful in this game. And I mean, I would almost say that that's the case for any business. I don't think it's just real estate. Like, I think it's any business.
I agree.
So you're kind of stepping up your game. So you've purchased 3 properties from us. You're now out of the Marine Corps, and you are going to school full time. for real estate. So what's kind of like, what's your game here? What's your big goals? What's your, what are you working towards?
Okay. So I'll answer that first. The big goals is definitely to scale up. So first of all, I've been doing the turnkeys. I have the 3 in Milwaukee. I have 1 in Memphis, but I'm closing on another one now. Actually, next week we should be closed on that one.
Nice, dude.
I had the one in North Carolina that I do want to go back to. I want to get back to the actionable steps for the guys. So right now, what I'm really trying to do is move on to the BRRRR. I'm trying to move on to that buy, rehab, rent, refinance, because with the turnkey, I'm getting all the back end experience, which is great. It's wonderful, and I want to talk about that too. But I'm missing out on the front end. I'm leaving money on the table, and now that I'm out of the Marine Corps and I have the time, I want to experience the whole thing, and it has been tough because of networking. But I'm chomping away at it. That is the goal. The goal is to move on to BRRRRs, single families, small multifamilies. When I start getting into the real estate portion of the school, and because of the pandemic, we're all doing online course, just can't really network like that too much. But when I get back there, we can start talking about what other opportunities are there. Me and Dave talked about it. Interning at these big companies. I'm making the money. I'm not making a lot of money, but I'm making enough money to be comfortable right now. I don't need to join a job and make money. I can intern, and the value that I get from the experience from these guys that are really doing it, I can't trade that for anything. So these are some of the goals and some of the big steps that I'm looking forward to doing.
Yeah, that was a great conversation too. We had talked about specifically, you had asked, hey, I'm looking at potentially, in the future and jobs and stuff like that. And if you asked me if I thought it was worthwhile to trade that money and really instead kind of, get close to somebody and get that experience, and you bring value, you're going to bring value. Someone like you was going to bring value to anybody. I wish I had enough time to bring you in and be like, run with this, and this, Tim, and crush it, because you would crush it. I would love to do that with you. But you talked about, and we talked about not making any money, but that experience and that education would pay off in dividends in the future. And I love to see the fact that you're doing that. And what's funny about it, I'm going to do the same thing, right? We were talking about, I'm a 05 in the Navy, it's a pretty decent rank, and I'll be coming out of a CO job and potentially going to do an internship for free, because at the end of the day, I know that free labor that I provide, hopefully bring value. What I'll gain from it, if I choose the right person to kind of snug up to and learn from, will pay dividends in the future. And to be humble and hungry, I think, are two things as well. You touched on the passion piece and the drive and the grit, but the hunger and the humility to be able to say, hey, I know nothing. Let me learn from you, and I'll tell you what doors are going to open up, and you're not even going to be able to control it, right? It's going to hit you, and it's going to be overwhelming with the opportunities that are going to be in your future. I have no doubt about it. And what's crazy, anybody could do it, right? Any of our shipmates could do it. No matter what rank, no matter what point in their career, they could all do it. And I think that's going to be a key for you to be able to, because people are going to listen to you, right? A lot of my sailors, man, I'm the old guy, but they see you, and I'm curious, in that vein, why real estate? Like what is it about real estate that got you so passionate? What is it about real estate that has you talking to other folks?
Yeah, it's just the high success rate that you see with real estate, what it brings. I don't even know if I really love real estate. Like, I do like it. It's really cool. I like it a lot, but I don't know if I love it. What I love is the game. I love taking this property and being able to like turn it into something else, flip it, and just being able to maneuver 1031. I love the game. And there's just such a high success rate with this game. And the vehicle that it's just a great vehicle to open doors to new things, open doors to give back, open doors to do other things, invest in other people. That's why I love real estate per se. You know, it's just it's the opportunity that it brings me.
Yeah, but it's not always that easy, is it?
I don't think it's ever been that
Yeah.
easy.
I mean, I think like I was actually talking to my dad the other day, and my dad, you know, built his business. He built a furniture business, and you know, he ran it for, you know, a long time. And you know, there's so many ups and downs of business. And David and I have had quite a few so far, and we're kind of talking about like cash flow management and just people, and I think like David and I love it. Like we love the game. We love like to be able to like be the decision makers and lead and make those hard decisions. And it's something new and different every day. We always have challenges kind of facing us right, you know, right up front, and we're like, all right, well, we got to go one way or the other. We don't know which way to go, but we're going to give it a shot. Let's talk about like some of these challenges, and you know, can you like, do you have like a certain time instance when something fell apart, like something, you know, was incredibly challenging, and kind of what you did to kind of overcome that?
Hey, but one caveat: if it had anything to do with the storehouse,
Yeah. No, all the
leave that
storehouse
out.
opportunities were perfect, right?
Those were money, right?
Those were awesome.
Money. But talk about the other guys.
Yeah, I just don't have to lie about that. Storehouse has been too easy for me. It seems like so let me get into this one real quick. Is because the one that really sticks out to me is in Arizona. When I was stationed in Arizona, man, I scoured the Yuma market. I scoured the Phoenix market. I'm talking, you know, I would get off of work at 1600, hop in my car, drive out to Phoenix from Yuma. That's a 3-hour drive. Attend a meetup, and then drive back to the, you know, to base, and it's like 1:00 in the morning, and then I got to be up at, you know, 04. You know,
Guys and gals, that's hustle right there. That's like,
that's grit, man.
That's grit.
I love that.
Listen to this.
And the end of the day, there was no deals for me. It just, the market was too high. It didn't fit my metrics. And you know, people were saying stuff like, hey, this is an appreciation market, you know, don't worry about cash flows, appreciation. And I was like, nah, you know, I'm new and everything, but no thanks. I need some cash flow, man. What happens if something crazy happens in the world, right? And this was last year. So
like COVID? Something like COVID?
Something. Obviously, that's not what I thought, but just, you know, who knows? You know, these markets tend to be cyclical anyway. I need the cash flow. I need the cash flow for it to work. So, but the key is that I spent probably a year, spent way too long, wasted my time in Arizona. Not wasting my time. I learned a lot, but the deals weren't there. I probably pushed too hard. If you guys don't mind, just to the guys, you know, that are looking to get in, so, you know, some of our military guys, I would like to give some actionable steps, some steps that I took when I didn't have any properties and I didn't have any money. So maybe this is the situation that they're in, if you don't mind.
Yeah, do it, man. Do it.
Okay.
And also, if you could kind of, I think a lot of people get hung up on the money thing, and to go from no to 7 properties, however many properties you have now, how you were, if you don't mind, just touch on kind of all those steps, how you got that money and then turn that into deals and what that looks like. It'd be great.
Sure. And I'll try to do it quick. So 2016, I was stationed in Lejeune. I was still in avionics. I knew I wanted to start. I already read Rich Dad, Poor Dad. I was in Bigger Pockets, and everything was just clicking at this point. All right. So I knew I needed to do this. I had no money, but I read Brandon Turner's How to Finance Your Property with no money down. Is that the name of it? Something like that. And
something like that.
And the VA loan was in there. So I read up on it, and I learned about it, and I was like, there you go. There's my ticket. So for the guys listening, I'm not saying that's the only way you can go, and we'll go over other ways that you can go about it. But the VA loan allows you to buy a property with no money down. It's not risk-free. There is, you know, issues with it. There's a funder's fee, right? and that adds to your overall loan. I got a foreclosed property with that, but it was foreclosed and just needed paint, which was crazy. I don't think if it's like your typical foreclosure that's in bad shape, I don't think the VA would approve it. So it's a little tougher for VA inspectors to improve on it. But it's a way, it's a method, it's an in for you that are trying to get in and don't have the money to do it. That's how I did it. Partnerships. A lot of my deals I did through partnerships, whether that was with it was private money, whether that was with family that was interested in it, or close friends. And it wasn't just they had to be in the deal, like on the paperwork. You can take out loans with them. You can $10,000, kind of make your own terms, and you pay them back. It's really whatever. That's the beautiful thing about real estate. There's a lot of creativity that gets involved, but partnerships go a long way. And if you can find private money, you can really, really get into your own terms and how you want to build it, as long as both parties agree. That property that I bought in North Carolina, I just want to say, I wouldn't buy that property today. This was back when I was reading, and I followed a lot of the Bigger Pockets Brandon Turner method, and he was saying $100 a door is what he was looking for cash flow. So that's what I looked for. I found it, I bought it, and I did my first house hack on it, because for a VA loan, you have to live in it. It's got to be your primary residence. So I was living in the property, and I just had a roommate, and they were helping me pay, and it was great. When I moved away, when I PCS'd, we got to refinance the loan out of a VA, and it just became a conventional loan, which was great. But how do I say? That property, even though it made $100 a month, that didn't last very long. In North Carolina, there was insurance that was wind and hail that upped the price like crazy, and I ended up breaking even losing money some months. But the beautiful thing about real estate is there's seems to always be a way out of it. And this happened to be in the form of 1031 years later. I got lucky. That area appreciated, and I actually ended up making about $30,000 on that one house. I ended up selling it and 1031ing it into 2 cash flowing properties, one of them which I bought from you guys. And these are just many different methods for those that don't know, and please talk to a CPA, because I am not. But a 1031 is a way to tax defer your properties. If you sell the property using a 1031, you can use that to reinvest in other properties, and you don't have to pay taxes on the capital gains. But there's a lot of stipulations that come with it. There's a time limit. There's 45 days to identify properties, and then 180 days to close. So please, guys, at the end of the show, I'll give my email and LinkedIn and stuff. But if you have any questions or whatever, please feel free to contact me, because I would love to talk about it. I love talking real estate. I love getting people started and seeing how their journeys go as well.
Yeah, I think there's a ton of value there, right? The fact that you found creative ways, it's interesting, because and the education piece to this can be very quick. It can be a curve straight up, right? A hockey stick curve, and the experience and the action is what really gets you to those things, right? The first time you do a 1031 exchange, you're like, I don't really understand this. You do it, and you're like, oh my gosh, it unlocks a whole list of opportunities that you never really knew about, and potentially even investing to do that in the future. And that's some of our goals, right? Stu and I get these portfolios, consolidate, sell them off 1031, go get other things. And I think that, to our listeners, reach out to guys like Tim, reach out to Stu and I, by all means, but reach out to guys like Tim that have done it, that are doing it, finding creative ways to make it happen. Because, at the end of the day, a young enlisted Marine, crushing it, right? Crushing it. And a lot of folks just don't realize it's right at their fingertips. They just have to have a little bit of knowledge. I mean, the more knowledge, the better. And then the drive and the action to do it. Find a good deal. Don't just do action to do action, especially all the Marines out there. I know you guys are, hoorah, I'd like to just charge a hill, right? Put a little bit of reading to it, or call Tim, he'll read to you. you know, just a small joke to our Marine Corps friends. But, you know, those are the things that are key, is to take those actions, and it opens a world of opportunities, networking, and just, it opens your mindset. So thank you for sharing that. That's, you know, that's awesome. Cause like, as you know now, would you, I mean, I don't know. I personally wouldn't do, it'd have to be crazy numbers to do a deal for $100 a door, but I wouldn't do $100 a door, right? You probably would never do $100 a door again, right?
No, never. Definitely different numbers now, higher numbers. Real quick, turnkeys. So there's you know, you're gonna hear different things on turnkeys. This is another beautiful thing about real estate. Everybody has different strategies. Turnkeys, I couldn't have gotten to where I got without turnkeys. Turnkeys, to me, in my opinion, is an excellent strategy for an active duty military person. Like in Arizona, I couldn't find anything, as I talked about. Now I bought things in Milwaukee. I've never even been to Milwaukee. The key with a turnkey company is the company itself, is the people that run it. Okay, and with you guys with Storehouse, I had no problems from our very first interview when I was vetting you know, companies. I knew you guys were legit. I just knew it, and you know, years later now, I go around and make sure that I tell people, you know, and there's another turnkey company that I work with, and I still say I can't put my name on them. I can't, but I can put my name on Storehouse. So if you guys really want to get into it, it's for people that, you know, don't have all the time in the world, want to get into the game, want to make some extra money, and want to learn about real estate. So don't just shun turnkeys because, you know, maybe Bigger Pockets shuns it.
Thanks, brother. I appreciate that, man. That means a lot, you know, coming from you. And I agree, man. I mean, David and I, we bought turnkeys, and they didn't go so well because we didn't vet them properly and correctly, and we chose poorly. And that's the reason we started Storehouse for 10, because we do think it's a good strategy for military guys and gals. You just got to pick the right team. Mm-hmm. And so that was the most important thing to us, was, you know, the team aspect and the honesty and integrity that comes with, you know, real estate. I want to hit on one thing, just kind of finishing up. We'll kind of get into some last real quick questions, but the one thing I want to just make sure that everyone hears again is this mindset piece. And we talk about mindset probably on every single podcast, but it's this mindset piece of, it's not, you know, you got to change your idea of I can't do it to how do I do it? How do I make it happen? And Tim has obviously done that, right? He has found ways to get it done. And man, it just fires me up to hear your story every single time of the things that you've done, the creative ways that you have just made it happen. And I applaud you, brother. I think it's really, really awesome, man.
Thank you.
Yeah, dude. All right. Well, we're hitting our time slot here. I want to just ask you just a couple more questions. I think David has a few as well. If you could tell your younger self one thing, what would it be?
Get started now.
Yeah. I tell you,
I'd be financially free right now, and I'd be giving back. I'd be on a whole nother level.
Yeah, I tell guys that all the time, right? Someone said, I don't know who to attribute it to, but I think probably a number of folks say it now, but the best time to buy was yesterday. The next best time to buy is today, right? Because you don't know. You don't know what's, even in COVID, the best time to buy is today. Because, you know, look at the market right now. I'm not a market guy, but just look at the market. You never know. You wouldn't think that in the midst of COVID that the market would hit an all-time high, but it did. I can't explain it. Most economists can't explain it either. But you know, you never know, right? So the best time to buy is yesterday, and act now is the next best time. So I love that, man. I love that. What is a piece of advice you'd give to your younger self, or to you know, another service member, veteran, outside of, you know, get started now? You know, how would you get them to, you know, practically get where you are right now?
You know, I think pay it forward. It's not only is it a good thing to do, I guess, you know, but what you start to realize is when you just talk about it, when you're just kind of talking about the things that you've learned, people give you advice on the stuff that they've learned, and now you just learned something, and then you just start going back and forth. And the more people you're doing this with, it just, it doesn't pay to hold all these secrets. This is a big market, this is a big country to just hold it all in. So just getting your advice out there, and you'll be surprised. You'll get a lot of stuff in return.
I love that. Most people don't realize that they're afraid to look dumb, or they're afraid of whatever. But what most people don't realize is people love talking about themselves, and you just have to ask a question.
David.
Especially David, David.
David.
But people love talking about themselves, and it takes zero. If you're just a little bit humble, and you can go up and be like, "Hey, I don't know about this. You tell me about it, man. Get your pen ready." Because most people are very generous with that information. I think that's a great point, so to help people over that hurdle, and to take action. So that's awesome. Stu, sorry. Go ahead.
Go ahead, Tim. What you got, buddy?
One real thing, because I really want to get this one across real quick, is for people that get stuck in analysis paralysis. This is a big thing, okay? My advice, and I'm only giving this advice, doesn't mean it's the only way or the right way, but this is what I would do. This is what I do. Set a time, a deadline, whether that's a month, 2 months, whatever. Whether it could be a year. Set the deadline. In that deadline, do as much studying as you want. 100 books, 200 books, 3 books, doesn't matter. But once that deadline comes and you have all the information you need, it's up to you to get that work done in that deadline. By the time that deadline comes, if you find something that matches your numbers, you do the deal. Because it will never be perfect. It will never be perfect.
There is no perfect deal. Yep. 100% agree, buddy. 100% agree. Well, dude, this has been awesome, man. You got me fired up. I'm going to go buy a bunch of houses now. How about that? This week. Let's do it.
This week. Done. Our timeline is 2 days.
2 days.
A bunch of education we can get in 2 days. We're buying by Friday.
I like it. Tim, how do people get a hold of you, brother?
So the only social media I have is LinkedIn. It's Timothy Casallas, and also my email address, which I can give you, so you can put in the show notes. timcasallas@hotmail.com. CASALLAS.
Cool.
Please feel free to hit me up. I love talking real estate. I don't care who it is.
Awesome, dude. David, you got anything
great.
else?
No, brother. Tim, thank you for making time. You're a busy man. You're trying to start a business. You're going back to school. You're apparently trying to get married. I didn't know about that either. You never mentioned that. So congratulations. Congratulations to your fiance. And man, hey, I just want to encourage you, brother. You fire me up. You bring me so much energy. You motivate me. You honor Stu and I by trusting in us, by investing, buying 3 houses from us. Man, we couldn't ask for a better partnership. I love talking to you. I look forward to our next phone call, and man, just keep crushing it, dude. I love, every time I talk to you, I feel like I can go bench 400 pounds. I can't. Usually I get under the bar, and then it ends up in an injury or something more bad.
Start crying.
I can't do it. And Stu's like, I can't even spot you because I can't. I've never picked up 400 pounds in my life. But anyhow, not important. Yeah. Keep it up, dude. And I would also encourage you to get out there more. And because people want to hear what you have to say, and you're the perfect ambassador for these types of things, the things that we're doing. So thank you.
Awesome. Thank you, guys. The feeling is mutual. That's for damn sure. Thank you.
Awesome, brother. Awesome. Well, hey guys, share this episode. Tell people about this podcast. Hit up Tim, because he's a wealth of knowledge, and he will school you up on all things real estate. He's going to school for it, so he probably knows more than us. And most importantly, go fill your storehouse.
Yeah, make it a great day.
See ya.
So.